Now, I don't know about you, but I sure thought I'd feel safer by now. After working for decades, frankly, I thought I'd be further along than this too. Now, maybe it's just me, but I don't think so. Everywhere I look, I see people over 50 asking the same questions. One, can I retire? Two, will my money last? Three, what happens if it doesn't? Because honestly, I'm too old to start over again. Yeah, I think a lot of people over 50 are worried today. I mean, just think about it. Life is more expensive than we ever thought it would be. Retirement is further away than we ever thought it would be. And how do you ignore all the uncertainty going on in this crazy world today? Now, before I go any further, I am a visual learner. Have been my whole life. I'd much rather see something than have to listen or read. And if you're the same way, then you can click a link down below and see it and read it rather than have to listen to me talk. Just for what it's worth, that's how I did it. Anyway, for most of my life, I thought working hard was the answer. Show up, do the right thing, keep pushing, and everything would work out. And I believe that still today. But it seems every year I work just as hard, if not harder, but I'm getting less and less traction. Like I said, the cost of everything keeps rising. I mean, look, energy, groceries, insurance, medicine, hell, everything is sky high anymore. And then you look at your retirement or savings account all the time wondering, how am I going to make that math work? Now, a couple of years ago, something happened that got my attention. The small local family business that I'd worked for years and years and years started slowing down. Now, you can blame it on a lot of things, and it doesn't really matter. The fact was, it was slowing down. The phones weren't ringing as much as they were, which means that the projects weren't coming through as much as before. There was trouble in paradise. And now, for the first time in a long time, I asked myself a question I never thought I'd ever have to ask again. What am I going to do now? I'm too old to start over again. So I quietly decided to start looking for an additional way to make income before I absolutely needed it. One that I could do at my age, and then one that wouldn't interfere with the full-time job that I had to have to pay my bills. So I did what almost everybody does. I went to YouTube and Google, and I started searching. And as expected, all the usual suspects raised their hand and showed up. MLM, affiliate marketing, all the pie in the sky, get rich quick overnight guys were there to say, hello, Don, and welcome back. Because truth is, I'd tried some of that stuff back in the late 90s, in the early 2000s, and my results were, failed. Yeah, I failed. I wasted a lot of time, suffered a lot of heartache, not to mention the rough relationships with family and friends when you're trying to get them involved. Oh, and there were the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars I spent. Oh, I mean, it went down the drain. Yeah, I guess you could say it was kind of a wasted decade. So, after all that, at this point in my life, you could color me a little bit skeptical. In fact, my scam radar is highly attuned to online BS now. Anyway, one day I came across this lady named Wendy, and she was talking about her life and her problems. And honestly, they kind of lined up with mine. Her, in her 50s, not enough money saved. She'd tried all the same schemes I had and, in fact, failed too. And I guess that is why her story caught my attention. A regular person talking about trying to build a better life, a better future for her husband, for her three granddaughters. You see, it wasn't about the money, it was about the life improvement. Now, like I said, I've been taken before, but there was literally no way this lady was going to pull a fast one on me. So I immediately reached in my pocket and pulled out my skeptic and I put it on the table, turned it on. Then I put my scam radar on high beam. Yeah, like I said, I'm ready. But before I took her word for it, I had a plan. I was going to work all day and then come home at night and do my research. So in the following week or so at night, I watched video after video. I took notes, making sure if there was any hole in her story that I found it. And then last but not least, making sure I hadn't missed anything. Because it really wasn't about me making millions this time. It was about me not getting taken to the cleaners. Eventually, I was led to the blueprint, and that's when it all clicked for me. The real aha moment when I knew in my heart, if Wendy can do this, I surely can too. That's when I decided to do something different. Instead of learning this in secret, I'm going to do it publicly. The whole journey you can follow along, the wins, the losses, the things that made sense, the things that didn't, the things that worked, the things that don't, and the real behind the scenes, how hard is it really to do this? Because I know I'm not the only person over 50 wondering what lies ahead in life. And maybe you've got some of the same questions I did. If so, feel free to follow along on this journey and see what happens. Now, if you'd like to see what got my attention in the first place, go look at the blueprint yourself. There's a link. I put the one I looked at in the box right below here. Click on it and see for yourself. Don't take my word for it. I didn't. I went and looked myself. The link's below. Let me know what you think. And just to prove I'm not a professional YouTube maker, I forgot to ask one question. Do you feel more secure today than you thought you would 10 years ago? Put the answer in the comments. I wanted to do a survey. I think there's a lot more of us than we think there are.